Thank you. Leanne Lazzaroni is not with us tonight. I want to congratulate the Fredonia boys basketball team for just a fantastic season as they made the playoffs this year. And just a great finale to a long season, and we've been blessed with a lot of great high school athletics over the course of the last year. And this is just one of many that has had a successful season, so congratulations. Also want to discuss today that we had a visit from Tim Huggs, who is the Commissioner of Civil Service this afternoon, not only to talk about the Governor's 2026-27 proposed budget, but to also discuss things that apply to us, like extended water support for different projects throughout the state. Of course, you have to rally for it, you have to apply for it, but there's 5-year commitments in the billions of dollars towards water infrastructure replacement and repair in New York State, as well as many other things. I want to thank Commissioner Hogg. I also want to thank Frank Puglisi and everybody who attended today. Many of our trustees attended this afternoon, and appreciate the support and learned a great deal about what's going to be happening in the state of New York over the course of the next fiscal year. Of course, all of that has to be approved over the next couple of months, so there'll be a lot of inside battling going on, but we'll wait for the results. Let's start with resolutions. February abstracts, 799 through 802. Any discussion?
I've got nothing.
Number 2 is Peterson Auctions. It's the agreement that we're looking to sign so that we can have a spring cleanup with the DPW and our offices and whatever else we need to feel that we can sell in auction.
All
Peterson,
things,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, all things being considered, the company that we're currently using, what are these percentages? How do they compare?
I'll get you the exact numbers, but we took a look at them much better. They have a much higher rate of success as well because they're local. They will do it on site, so we don't have to wait until somebody may or may not. Without getting into too much, Dave was at that discussion with me, Dave Bird. He's well aware of our competitor, of his competitor, and has a much higher success rate. I think almost a 30 to 40% higher success rate than our current group.
He's also willing to do a kids bike auction as well, on top of the, whereas Auctions International wouldn't do that. So we're going to have both live and online auctions.
So I have a comment on that. We have, I think it's called Spoke Wheels or something to that effect,
Yes.
the name, local organization. Mayor, have you talked to Rich Goodman at all?
I've spoken to Rich several times, not this year. They're a great program. I discussed it with Dave that there may be some bicycles that we want to donate towards that program.
Yeah.
But we also need to raise funds as well. So, yeah, we'd be glad to work with them.
Okay.
And we also want to talk to them about some slow roll projects like they do in Buffalo and things. So I've spoken to Rich in the past, but we'll definitely reach out to them on this as well.
I have spoken with him in the past week, so he's very much interested in working with us on the bicycles.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
Any further discussion on Peterson Auctions?
It looks like a good program.
Number 3 is budget transfers.
So I'm assuming that's, I shouldn't assume. Is that for some of the chlorination, chlorinator work?
Yeah, I didn't know.
100,000?
So the budget transfer is actually for the St. George invoices from the water main breaks. And then I'm actually going to have to revise the resolution some because I received the purchase order for the $41,000 one today, and that should go to sewer. So I'm going to have to fix the transfer to go from sewer, and then I'm also going to have to add, I passed out the budget transfer request form from Chuck for transferring for repairs on the code vehicle, so I'm going to have to add that also.
You and I had talked about this briefly. the EFC funds that we did get, are those reflected in the most recent treasurer's report?
No, those are not listed in there.
Those are
No.
separate,
Correct.
that's a separate item, okay.
Yep.
All right.
What was the total on those EFC funds?
$493,300.
Thank you.
And we have received those.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm imagining this is number 4 is part of number 3, but St. George invoices.
But getting back to EFC funding first, so we did get not authorization for approval from Labella to pay the H&K invoice for 100 and some thousand. So those funds will be coming out of the EFC.
Yes.
And that's just the first part
Yeah.
of the payment. I don't know how many payments there will be.
That's actually the second payment for H&K.
Okay.
St. George invoices?
So you're saying that you received another one?
So I'm
the-
saying, it's in here already, but I received the purchase order that goes with it that tells me where to apply it to from the DPW. So it actually is applied to sewer fund and not water fund,
And
so,
that's the 41,675?
yes.
So this is actually sewer, okay.
Well, that
So
was-
will there be not only a revision for the resolution that's in here to pay St. George from the water fund, will there be one for the budget transfer for the sewer fund as well? So we can-
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And the 41,000 reflects repairs that were done on the water main and the sewer line?
The 41,000
Strictly sewer, isn't it?
was, according to the purchase order, sewer.
Yeah, I mean, they occurred concurrently, so.
Number 5 is Freightliner truck.
Okay, I just have a question. So would that truck only be used for snow removal? And if not, what would its other uses be?
Well, during the summer, we can take the salter box off and the plows off, and it could be used for hauling anything, basically. So,
All right, and I know there's been a little bit of discussion about the possibility of a grant to cover all the work that needs to be done on Central and Temple. Or have we applied for the grant?
So we met with EFC Labella because if we're gonna include that into the money that EFC has already given us, then if we're gonna roll that money into it, they have to approve that.
Okay,
And so we requested it.
okay,
And Labella's working with them and our bonding agent to make sure that, well, hopefully, that the money will be included in the overall water project. So,
Okay.
yeah, so the funding
So-
will cover all
Right.
the projects.
and the reason I ask that is just because I really truly want to make sure that we are not setting
sure.
ourselves,
Yep.
short on
Yeah.
stuff for the streets.
Yeah,
that's
and I
all.
don't think we will, but I had a conversation with Scott Marsh, and I asked him in his time here about how much of the CHIPS funding did they spend on road repair, and he said 300 to 350,000 typically is about what they spent annually, and I think Dave.
the last 5 years, it's averaged $260,000.
Yeah,
$260,000.
and after these purchases, you told me there'll still be,
There's 500,000, there'd be 500,000 available.
yeah, so there'll be plenty to do that kind of work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We also want to let people know, let them know again on Monday. Deputy Mayor Esperson and I met with Mr. Langworthy face-to-face via Zoom about monies that he asked we need, what we need for the water project for Central Avenue and the Central Avenue infrastructure project. I want to let the public know we are taking on a lot of long-term projects here. these are once in probably our lifetime projects.
Oh, yeah.
We're not pointing fingers. They have been neglected. They're underground. You turn hot water on, you turn cold water on, you don't think about it. These pipes that are breaking are from the 1800s, early 1900s. Unfortunately, they're all coming together at the same time. We have our major water project that's going on right now, and now we have a failure of probably one of the more major connections in our entire infrastructure at Temple and Central Avenue. For those complaining about the condition of Central Avenue, it's understandable, but there's no sense in paving Central Avenue only to tear it up again when we do this. So we're looking at opportunities to roll these projects into one ask, knowing that, after we were done with Mr. Langworthy, we spoke with Senator Schumer and Gillibrand's office about their monies. They have freed up their monies for expenditures in their areas. So we're asking, I think it was somewhere between $18 and $20 million between all three of those that we were asking for, John. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And hopefully that would take care of a big chunk, if not all of that project. So on top of the 17.5 that we already have set aside for the interconnect with North County Water Supply. So,
And in that meeting we had with Labella and EFC, and Dave was there as well, and thank you, Dave, for being there to provide insight that I wouldn't have been able to give them. We stressed that the Central Avenue project has to be a priority. It doesn't have to be the same timeline as the overall water project, because we know how long that timeline is. And we don't want to wait till 2029 to get that started. So they're aware that that's a little more urgent.
Central Avenue line as well as
Yeah.
hopefully connected to that Dunkirk line at the bigger station. So they don't want to be connecting to an old 1880 line. So it makes sense for them to put it in the project, is what they said.
it also being Central Avenue by its name, central connection to virtually everything, from the college to the plaza to the thruway to the city of Dunkirk and beyond. And we certainly want to help the college. College has its own issues that it's dealing with right now. So, and we are still awaiting a signed document from them with regards, we have not had a signed contract with them in over 5 years, at least over 5 years, because it's prior to Mayor Hessel. Yeah. So lots on the table.
Mayor?
We'd like to be able to do all these fun things around with like murals and everything else, but this is a priority. Yes, sir.
Just to provide a footnote, we were at the meeting today with New York State representatives, and actually you had asked the question. Major initiatives affecting cities and villages. This would be for this coming fiscal budget, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. 5-year plan, New York State allocation of $3.75 billion, commitment to water and sewer infrastructure. And that equates to $750 million annually. So if there's ever a time to chase after these grants, it is now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions on Freightliner truck? If not, we move on to truck snow equipment. Tough subject when it's 76 degrees outside.
That money will not come out of this year's CHIPS money. That would be the following, so it's spreading it over 2 different CHIPS budgets.
Okay.
And you would still have a balance of about $500 million?
Yeah, absolutely. It will actually, it'll go up because it's roughly 400 and some thousand a year that we get, and they're actually looking at making more of that available to the community. So it actually could be higher than that, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they ask for that every year. There's always a request for more CHIPS money because the amount hasn't changed in quite a while. Although costs go up, roads get worse, you get the same amount of funds. So they've been advocating for more money for a good period of time, and this is as good a year as any to get that approved. So
You're very good.
we'll see.
Anything else on that? Okay, if not, before we go to department reports, I want to talk about a couple of things. Number one, I hate to speak out on what's said on media, but it's the only way we can defend ourselves. Editorial was written the other day regarding my interest in adding the police department to the fire department and whether it was frivolous spending. this administration has gone beyond trying to find ways to roll projects into one another to save the taxpayer money. I am a taxpayer. Everybody in this room is a Fredonia taxpayer. So trust us when we say nobody's spending frivolously here. In fact, connecting the police department to an existing building, like the fire department, would probably be the cheapest, most effective way of building a new police department that is woefully, as I stated in the paper, needed. We're not sure. We are unsure of continued discussions to merge police departments. At this time, it's certainly something we're considering. But no matter what we do, even if we did consolidate, you need a headquarters. I'm quite sure that Dunkirk would have one. We would have one. And when you compare the cost of retrofitting a Rite Aid or a
Big Lots.
Compared to adding on to a building that already exists, I ask, who's really saving the taxpayers' money? So my phone also rings both ways. I'm happy to talk about it long before articles are written. I appreciate it. Speaking of police, before we get into the police department report, Chief Myers and I had the opportunity, local developer, of touring St. Joseph's facility today. We met some very nice children in the building. And before everybody gets all upset, we are merely looking at options that building may be used for. Arthur Page, who's developing that building, was kind enough to say, what would benefit the village? What could the village utilize? You know, we talked about the possibility of veterans, a place for veterans. There's no veterans home between here and Batavia and Erie. There's one being built in Buffalo by, what is it, the Two Towers?
T2T.
Yeah, and, but that won't be done for another year or so. And we do have veterans that need someplace to go. That's one option. It's merely ideas. Nobody's spending money yet. We looked at the possibility of a police station that incorporates, by the way, not removing the children's program that is in that building. And we had a chance to take a look at the church. It was absolutely beautiful, but definitely a lot of roof damage there as well. So I want to thank Arthur for giving us that tour and being kind enough to say what would work best for the village. So if you have ideas yourself as to the use of that building, it is highly unlikely that it's going to be used as a church again anytime. But feel free to reach out to me. My email is on the website, and I will pass those on to Arthur as well. With that, we'll start with police department, please.
Going through our budget, presenting budgets, putting things together for the budget. There's going to be some expenses coming up within the next few weeks. This year's current budget, tires and other things that we usually buy this time of year. We have beginning of May coming up, which is the non-Fred Fest situation that we've been dealing with the past few years. I think last year was great. I've spoken to state police and sheriff's department again. We're probably going to sit down more formally and kind of have some conversations. We had to utilize our attorneys for a Turple hearing in Mayville, which is a temporary extreme risk border protection. We located a loaded gun that was used to threaten people downtown last weekend. We made an arrest on that, and the person was brought before a judge up in Mayville. So that is an expense that we had. It's an expense that we have to bear, even though it's kind of a state type of a mandate, but it's not cheap, but it has to be done. Other than that, we're good.
You're busy.
Yeah. Busy.
Yeah. Sometimes good busy. Fire chief is in training, so is not here today. DPW.
We are going around area by area, zone by zone, picking up leaves right now. So be patient with us as the weather's getting nicer. We're going around and doing what we can to get to leaves that were piled up last fall. And sitting under snowbanks and everything, they've gotten squished down quite a bit and they're quite wet. So we've been raking them up, and it's taken a little longer than it would have, had they been picked up in the fall before it snowed. So we're working our way around, we'll get to you guys. The DPW lot is available for anybody that wants to drop off sticks or leaves, so we had plenty of people dropping off sticks and leaves today. So you can stop and either do that almost any time. We're also in the process of going around and filling potholes with a cold patch. And if you walked around town, we picked up 99% of the garbage that was blowing around the town that was stuck in snowbanks and stuff like that over the winter time. So the town's starting to look a lot better, starting to look a little more springy, and that's where we're focused on right now, is just getting it ready for mowing and the upcoming season. So
Thank you. We do want to remind people we are well aware of the Water Street situation and lack of streetlights. We're working on those situations right now as best we can. We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place as to who's responsible for that. But we are aware of Water Street being very dark, and we are aware of trying to get that fixed. We also had a situation up in Castile Heights that we were dealing with regards to lights. They are older lights with a very old contract, and we are working on it as best we can. So I want to thank Dave and his crew for what they're doing. Recreation Department, right now we are getting ready once again to book for parties and things in the park. We ask that you call here at Village Hall, and who's taking care of that? Right, Kara, correct? Kara in the Water Department is booking that time right now, and it is going fast. They're also going to be working on the baseball fields this week to get those ready in Russell Joy Park. And that's all I had right now for Recreation Department. We will be talking about registration, which will be coming up again. And once again, there will be a $20 registration this year, as last year. That is for the entire summer. So, and I think there was a multiple child discount, if I was right, last year, wasn't it? No? No. Thought it was 2 or more. Okay. Wastewater treatment plant.
Adam Rush from Wendell Engineering reached out to the EFC about our grip pump situation and about declaring a public health emergency so that they would be eligible for the possibility of getting rolled into future grants from the EFC. And so we're in a position, if we decide, which we're really on borrowed time on this, about moving forward with that project. Last workshop, there was different quotes that were put in for the installation and the pumps themselves. So we need to do something about those pumps.
Are you recommending that we hold off purchase through resolution until we find out about whether they're eligible for EFC funding or not?
The EFC funding part is down the road.
You don't have that. We can't wait that long.
We can't wait that long. Basically, it goes for the emergency resolution has to be enacted. Then we move forward with the pump project. And this is something that, like, the pumps have been deteriorating over time, and it's there's not much life in them. The one pump is leaking very bad. Yeah, it barely pumps, and the other one's not far behind it.
What would be the lead time after you ordered a pump?
When I got the quote, it was it would be about 3 to 4 months out for the pumps.
So we probably shouldn't wait to pass that resolution to get them ordered.
Yeah.
So Dave, we have to sign a public health emergency.
Yes,
Yeah.
Let's-
Okay, do we have that in position yet?
I can get it done. I was just waiting for this conversation.
Yeah, let's do that
do
and
that.
pass a resolution for the pumps as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to wait on the emergency until
We
Friday?
can
or
do
you want to
both.
pass it
We can
now?
do both Monday.
Monday? Okay. I'm sorry, Monday, not
Let's-
Friday.
Let's get them done now.
Yeah, at that meeting, we said that EFC requires a resolution, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Dave?
No, I'm.
Just one quick question. I don't have the quote in front of me. What are we looking at?
For the pumps in this installation, it's $135,314.
Okay. As of the January treasurer's report, and I know that was going on a month and a half ago, there was more than enough to cover that cost if we can't get EFC funding. And I think that's a project that needs to go forward, whether, we get the money from EFC or not eventually.
Yeah.
They're just going to die, and then we're
Then we're in real trouble.
yeah.
That's right. One thing about wastewater, you don't want it to hit the fan. There you go.
Yes.
You can afford to lose one, but then you have the other, you have the luxury of redundancy right now, but
We normally run the 2 grit chambers just because it helps things out. Like when we have high flows, we have a whole bunch of grit that gets flushed out. Having both systems operating adds capacity for the situation where if we're just running on one, we get overloaded. So it's ideal to have both running and both functional, but like if the north pump, which is the worst one, went down, we could switch over to the south, but like I said, the south pump isn't far behind the north. They're both in bad shape.
does Molly have a lead time for you if they were to do the work?
This project would be, H&K would be doing
that's
the
right.
installation, and pumps are from Kester.
Okay, so you could initiate that soon, right?
Yeah, as soon as it gets passed and everything's set up with the emergency resolution, I would get that moving in the right direction right away.
So we'll have to
Yeah.
get a resolution going
Yeah.
on the next meeting.
Yeah.
Anything else? Lewis, water treatment plant.
We're about 90% complete with our project. Ran into some difficulties today. We were expecting startup to be today and using a new system tonight. Our transfer pump that takes it from the holding tank to the actual day tank is unserviceable. We have to get a new one. They think the lead time is going to be about a week, so it pushes our start date back, which everything was all scheduled out to have our current chlorine system operable till today. So we're gonna run out of pellets, so we need to pick some up tomorrow. So I just need to figure out a truck to get to,
You have them available?
yeah. It's about 2 hours away in Bloomfield, so it'd just be easier for us to pick it up and then ship it and then figure out a
Does it
truck.
come in?
Say it again?
What does it come in?
55 or a 5-gallon pail.
That's it, a 5-gallon bag?
We're getting a half a pallet, so 12
Oh, okay, I was
buckets.
gonna say, we'll throw it in my car, but no, pallet we're not doing. So, okay, the replacement pump, is that going to be covered because the
Yes.
first one didn't work, so we don't have to buy another one?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. Anything else?
Nope,
Good luck.
that's it.
You're looking for a truck, is there anything DPW has that you may be able to use?
I can let him use my truck. He can use my truck, but I just gotta get some things out of the back of it.
Okay, thank you.
That works.
Problem solved.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
New business,
Well, code enforcement.
code enforcement. Yeah, I kind of miss Chuck.
I'm always thinking, Chuck, I'm always thinking about it.
You just kind of relieve it and kind of relax it a little bit. Chuck, what do you got for us, bud?
I forgot now. We have a zoning board meeting tomorrow night. WCA home will be on the agenda for that,
What time is that?
5:30. And I have an area variance too, which should be a no-brainer. The WCA There's inspired people will be here with their attorney to plead their case and stuff. And planning board will be meeting next Wednesday, and we're going to go through. There's a couple of tweaks to the sign law that we did last year, but somehow it got lost, and the board never got it. So why we have the opportunity before you present it to the board again? There's a couple of language things that I want to put in there real quickly. This way you go to public hearing with it. So hopefully you'll get that in the next, by the next meeting, the next 2 meetings. Hopefully they'll get that done quickly next week. And I think the chairman wants to start working on the comprehensive plan, the master plan.
Yeah.
He has some ideas. So
That's probably good to do for a 5-year update.
No, we just did that with Pomford.
About 3 years ago? 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was in
3 years?
23.
Okay. Because I know it's every 5 years.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll be doing really good if we go for 5 years. That's pretty expensive, and that takes a bit of time. So
Okay.
most communities don't get it done that quick. We're in good shape if we do.
Okay.
Phones are starting to ring, and we're starting to get a little busy now with the warmer weather. It's amazing what happens when we get 50 degrees and sunshine. It seems like everybody's got ideas.
Is that true, Chief?
Other than that, that's all I have.
Just so people know, there's 3 signs that are currently in discussion, some a lot further along than others. One is the DFT electrical sign, which is the same exact size as the one they have out there right now. It could be used for multiple purposes, including things like, we won't say boil water order, but those types of things. They're willing to use it not only for DFT advertising, but for community things, farm festival, those types of things. There's also Campano's Main Street that's looking to add a sign so she can continue her business. And there's a beginning discussions with Pucci's about possible sign on their building. So those laws and those updates are important.
Hold on, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask. I thought that someone had said they had a hard copy of the policy that you are looking to tweak. Is that my imagination, or was it something else?
That's, Brian Lewis has a hard copy.
Yes, Brian has it, and the problem is I don't know if it never got to the attorney or the attorney never got it ready for the board to put it in the language that would have to be for public hearing. So I'm not sure where it fell apart, but we have a second chance now to get it redone. It's probably a good thing because there's a couple of things we want to add to it.
Let's just make sure we weren't charged for the first time we gave it to them. So,
Yeah.
happened before. Anything else?
I'm not sure the attorney's ever got a copy of that.
Okay.
I didn't find it in there,
Yeah.
so.
Because
New business.
Is it about a year ago we discussed it, roughly?
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it just seemed
It wasn't too
to
long ago.
fade out.
We
Yeah.
finalized it. I want to say it was right after the battery storage. And I think the 323 Central, the apartments, is back looking to put battery storage in on their property there. But it's a small, they've downsized it from what they were planning. So we'll have to be doing that. And the other stuff that's on in Clinton Street is still moving forward.
It is.
I think they got their DEC approval, I believe.
Which one is that, Jim?
The solar, the commercial solar. I'm not sure about the battery that's going there, but on the solar, I talked to the solar people and they said that they, for some reason the DEC wants to talk to me and I'm not sure why, but.
And before we get too far down the road with them, we need to meet with them and talk about the HOA. Because almost every community that has solar, a solar field, they have an HOA. I think it's an HOA sign.
Yeah.
Where the solar company will support the community depending on kilowatt hours produced. So I know the large one in Ripley was going to pay Ripley somewhere around $1 million a year, but that's a huge field.
The battery storage had a meeting, we had a presentation from the battery storage in the planning board, and they had said that they would be pumping a lot of taxes into the village. And I do believe I had a conversation with the solar Pete's too. I said the exact same thing, that it would be like over 15 million that they would be assessed for, and I had no problem with that, so.
All right, thanks, Chuck.
We also received a proposal to put solar panels on the reservoir, in the reservoir. And I said, absolutely not at this time, so call us back in maybe about 5 years, but not right now.
Floating
So,
solar.
It's worked in some places, but
New business,
we're in the middle
R.L.
of
Miller
transition.
invoice.
I don't see it as reasonable.
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past, and the issue finally got resolved, I see, according to the invoice, so, you know, the flooding that happened at that property was a result of some work we had done, so.
I just want to put it up for resolution, that's why it's listed on here.
Okay.
Because I don't want to pay it and then it come
Yeah.
back because it's listed under a different property.
All right.
Well, actually, it was a break in the main line, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And they thought perhaps it was a service line going to the residence,
But it ended up not being.
being the service line, the main line, yes.
It was a break in the main line, but what we couldn't tell was the problem was National Fuel Gas had put a gas line down the same property, so the water was actually flowing out of our line down that natural fuel gas line, so we were getting basically an underground river through their property. So we couldn't tell where the break was. It was basically a giant sound.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So we did do the fixing of it. The water did go through into the basement walls and I guess knocked out some utilities as far as hot water tankers.
yeah.
You had to do a test bore, I guess, to identify where the leak was.
We ended up digging in 3 different spots basically to
Okay.
find it. So
Right.
3 different lines run in that area. We didn't know which one it ended up being.
Want to do a walk-on Monday for that one?
Number 2, Dave Bird's training request.
I note that that's for the next fiscal year, so you can include that in your budget for
Yes.
training this year?
And that's for me and 2 of my guys to get our water licenses. We currently only have 1 guy, and that's Doug that has his water license. And Doug is great, and I hope he never retires, but I don't see him lasting another 20 years. And we have to apprentice under him for 1 year. So the sooner we get it, the sooner we can get that apprentice done.
You think you need, I mean, you have to get it, that's part of your job requirement. I'm not sure that getting 2 other people.
Both of these guys are the guys that jump in the holes.
Okay.
And that's part of being able to call into UDIG. It's just, if I'm not in town, it's one of having one of these guys in town that's, you know, has that license. It's a benefit to the village to put the $725 to send them to that.
So it's $725 per person?
Yes, yes.
Seems pretty reasonable.
Does this get the license or is it just a class towards the
No, it's
license?
to get the license.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Is to get your license?
yes, to get the
Okay.
license.
Because I was going to suggest, you know, you and one of the other guys go this year and then one guy go next year, but for $750, I'm not going
Yeah, it's
to quibble.
it's well worth it for them to have it. Plus, they're both excited about getting it. I hate to tell those guys that, you know, we don't want them to advance and learn more about what they're doing.
You know, we had spoken one time about if we're going to send someone to class and get them licensed and qualified for something, that they would sign, if we're going to pay for that, that there was something that they would
3-year
sign, that
commitment.
they would stay, you know, once they pass the test, stay for at least a year. I don't know if that's legal. I'm not sure where that conversation ever
legal.
went. Is it?
But they would have to stay for a year, else they wouldn't get the license anyways, because they have to apprentice under somebody for it.
Well,
So,
I would like to enact that. If we're going to pay for someone to go to college and, or go to school and get a license, even if
Can
it's
do up to a
needed.
3-year commitment.
Yeah,
We did it with the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And how long are you licensed for? Like, you have to do renewal or
I
anything?
believe it's a 2-year license, then there's just like a renewal
Okay.
thing through it. So the renewal isn't as much as the classes. It's a 3-day class up in Niagara Falls we'll drive up to. So it's not, no hotels, none of that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I believe it's a 2-year license, then you just renew it with continued education.
I think we
credits.
authorized Lewis to go and get that renewed, right? That license, yeah.
Well, ours aren't distribution, but yeah, we have to have 3 continuing education units every 3 years, and it's 10 hours for a unit. So our guys have to go to more classes to maintain their license.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Next, AIM funding resolution.
So this is funding that we already received, but they are proposing to give additional funding, and they just want support. So I believe, did you put that copy in their box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she
So
has. We got
that
it.
just says that we support them wanting to give more, and it ends up being triple what we received this year. So it was
Is it?
6,000 this year, and then they are proposing 18,000 for next year, so.
Okay.
I have one thing under new business.
Who would say no to that?
Go ahead. Anybody else?
I've got a couple things, but go ahead.
I've sent you information about the upcoming NICOM. They usually hold 3 or 4 of these a year. I'm only looking to go to one, mainly because of the agendas that are relevant to what we're doing in the village right now. The first 2 that we went to in my first year, we developed connections. We developed connections with people that we're currently talking to. And we also got a chance to work with other mayors on some collaborative efforts, and including Town of Falconer and others that I'm currently discussing. Many of these mayors are going this particular one, and as I said, while there's 3 in the course of the year, I'm asking for this one. I would pay my own tolls and gas, but I would ask for the registration. I'm not sure what that is yet this year.
Is that the one in May?
Yeah.
In, where is it?
Albany area, Schenectady area,
It's not Sarasota. It's
Saratoga?
Saratoga Springs.
Sagamore.
Sagamore.
Or Sagamore.
Sagamore,
yeah.
okay. So I had a couple of different things. Everybody's favorite subject, we're going to have to decide really soon about when we can all get together for budget hearings. And as I recall, usually 5 or 6 of them. So at some point soon, maybe we can share our calendars by email and get those kind of pinned down, see what works for everybody.
Marissa and I did go through all the budgets last week with the department heads.
And that's what makes me think it's time we do that.
Yeah.
And I will say, shouldn't talk about it public, but I will, that I think they worked very hard on them. And I don't think that there was anything that was really outrageous that I saw. We realized it's going to be a tight year, but I think they did a really good job of coming to us with a decent budget proposal. So we thank all the department heads for that.
I would also like us to consider naming the alleyway between Eagle and by the fire department, naming that, giving that thing a name so it's an official street, which opens us up for some funding to be able to keep it in good repair. I've tried to do an online search about what a village has to do to name a street, and after a little frustration, I called Melanie. I said, Melanie, can you tell us what we need to do, because there's
It's a
conflicting
resolution.
there's conflicting information about how that needs to happen. So I'm waiting to hear back from her, see exactly how we do that. And then ultimately, the board needs to approve it. One site said it needs to be a referendum. One didn't mention it, so I'm not sure if that's something that needs to happen or not. But
I think it depends on what's in our charter. Yeah.
they didn't have streets back then.
No, that's true. You can tie your horse, I can tell you where you can swim, yeah. But, yeah. we also-
The alleyway,
So essentially, between the 2 parking lots, people decide which light they're trying to beat. So they will drive from Water to Eagle, or Eagle to Water, or Water to Canada Way Creek, or.
it would be nice to be able to pave it and then put actual lines on it, because now it's just kind of everybody on their own.
I would just ask Melanie if there's any restrictions then for speed limits.
Yeah. Yeah. Which there
Could
should
even
be.
get some bumps in there.
If it's going to be a road, think our minimum
I
here in
th-
Fredonia is.
I think if it's speed limits, I think the village can decide on the speed limit.
Yeah,
It's not a New York State road.
we can set speed limits for that.
Yeah.
I like that idea, though. Ben just
Yeah.
said maybe speed bumps.
Speed bumps,
For sure.
you know?
Yeah,
We don't
Speed
need
bumps are
people
a
flying through there.
little bit of an issue if we're going to be plowing it a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
I think those nice
would be.
razor things that pop up out of the ground slash your tires.
Detect you if you're going too fast and rip your tires up.
That's one idea.
Watch too many movies.
We can be creative, right?
Anything else under new business?
I just would like to take off what you mentioned, Mayor, about training.
Yes.
I inquired, Christine, I believe you had signed up for some training, and there is training for elected officials.
Right.
So I spoke with the representative today, and there is a class coming up.
Yeah, the end of March, I think it's the
Yeah.
26th.
Right.
Yeah.
I personally can't make that one. I have a time conflict, but there will be another opportunity in May for
Yeah.
trustees.
Yeah.
So when I get more information, I'll publicize that.
One thing you want to do is, there are certification classes. That's what I'm also qualified for with NICOM. I'm just a couple of things that are on that agenda away for certification.
Yeah.
And you can take those classes online too.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
I was
some
gonna
that you
say,
can take online.
Unless they're offering it in the summer, it's going to be a problem.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
And
so.
there's not, and you know what? You don't need to for your position, more
Okay.
or less, but we'll go from there.
Yep.
Old business, Beck proposal.
Yeah, we've been kind of kicking this around for a while, and I know Lewis keeps bringing it in front of us, and, you know, we bemoan the fact that we don't have the funds to take care of this issue, but it's an issue that's going to reoccur as long as we're using that reservoir. So there were two proposals that we received. One is to put wire underground around the reservoir, correct?
From the meter to the top.
Right.
And the other one was just to replace the pole that went down in the light and then go underground from that section to the top, which is about
Right.
3/4 of the way up.
So if that repair was done, would that mitigate whatever issues we're having from happening again?
I mean, as long as the tree doesn't hit the pole and take
Right.
the pole out, but
Right.
most of the problem is the trees go down along the access road, it overhangs the wire, takes the wire out, and then we have to get it put
Yeah.
back up.
Okay.
And right now, there is a tree that's dangerously close to crossing across the road, the access road onto another section, so.
Right. And then the other option was a little more pricey option. And I think, Louis, I think you and I talked a year or so ago, and you were good with the option that's about $20,000 total. Is that the one you think would serve us better?
I mean, if we could get the whole thing, so that way we don't have to worry about
Right.
half the section going next year or later this year, I mean, I think that would be the best.
Right. So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think it's some work that we need to do. It's not
It's going to
cheap.
save us money
Yeah.
in the long run.
Right,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Because
it's-
we're repairing this pretty routinely.
right, and we're gonna be there for at least another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's preventative really in nature, but you showed me the picture today. You got a tree ready to come down.
I got the tree pretty much taken care of. We'll talk about it.
That's, I mean, just one out of the many that.
Of the many,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this has been ongoing for a long time, right?
Yeah, every year, DPW will help and remove some of the trees of what they can, and then back will do the line and, I guess, tighten them as they get stretched out and whatnot, and
Right.
it's ongoing.
And you also mentioned to me that our DPW crew could help with trenching?
Correct, that was part of the quote, was that they were gonna trench it, and they were, Beck was gonna just run the conduit and then hook everything up.
Nice. Okay.
So we're trenching the line.
We're gonna trench, yeah.
Is a backhoe I'm taking because we don't have a trencher.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Two little shovels, you got those little garden shovels.
Okay. I guess the DPW is helping with this.
It's in the quote, it was something that Scott had arranged with them a while back. checks.
How do you know?
And I see your quote that it was preferred option, that they're there every year, just about for the last 5 years or so. Is that, I see that quote from about 6 months ago, is that quote?
I was asked to get a revised one, so the one that says revised is the most recent one. The $10,000 one, that was the one that Scott asked for from the pole that went down, up. That was just like a replacement for that section.
Okay.
But that was a revised one, and that should still be valid. I mean, I could get another one.
Why don't you get another one and then work with Alyssa and, go ahead, Alyssa.
Why don't we just add this in the budget for the next budget?
Yeah, I mean,
Let's do
the
that.
work probably wouldn't be done until then.
Bingo, done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Labella proposal,
Good with
number
that?
2.
okay. You know, there was a question raised at the last meeting, whether we thought it was a good idea to accept their new proposal that eliminated the necessity of tearing down the water treatment plant, bank stabilization, some field work, and whether we're kicking the can down the road with that, leaving that building standing. It's going to be someone else's issue at some point. And I've had discussions with Labella, and these aren't new discussions. These are discussions I had a long time ago. The belief was that the Army Corps of Engineers would stabilize that bank through a grant, or I don't know how that would happen, but I know Trustee Twitchell also looked into that. And we talked about it at that point. And that if the clear well was empty, that would put a lot less pressure, because the clear well is right in the corner where the bank is, where the erosion is happening. That once the clear well was empty, that pressure would be lessened a great deal. I mean, you know, if not doing either of those items could save us enough money to repair and pave Central Avenue, I think the trade-off is a win for me. I think Central Avenue has got to be a priority, as we said today, or as I said today to the gentleman from Albany. You know, we're spending $17.5 million to change how we're getting our water. We're going to have nice clear water running through pipes that were dug by Civil War veterans. And you know, until we put some serious effort into that, we're going to continue to have the issues that we're having now. And you know, I would take that trade-off any day. So I'm going to suggest that we approve their proposal as revised.
Trustee, I do want to make note, the Army Corps of Engineers is not doing that for free.
For sure they're not.
And they're talking, when I happened to be there and heard the other side of the conversation, we're talking of millions of dollars, and there's no guarantee to shore up what is nothing more than silt and mud and dirt. That's why it has progressed from where it was 10 years ago, where there was a picnic table, to the picnic table now laying 68 feet at the bottom of the pit. And they're, you know, them taking first glance at it, they didn't do any studies, but first glance at it, and I think that was the first week I worked with you back then, Louis, they said, you could build a concrete wall, but all that silt and everything is going to be behind a concrete wall, and if that floor decides to go, it's going to go, and it's going to take the wall with it. So, while I agree with what you're saying, they'll take the pressure off by not having the water in those tanks anymore. I don't think anybody thought we're just going to sit there and leave a building abandoned. People are going to live in it and build clubhouses. Nobody said that. But the point of the matter is right now where we're at with the water project, the idea is to get fresh water to our community so our community can continue to flourish and grow and not lose companies. That would be something, as you're saying, that would come down the road, but seriously needs consideration. Anything else in Labella proposal?
Well, I think trustee Lazzaroni, one of her concerns was liability. She said that.
Yeah, we're going to have insurance on that property as long as we own it anyway.
Right.
Right.
That doesn't change.
Right.
So,
And the dam is not insured.
right.
Right.
But even if the dam's not, even if we still own the property when the water level dropped enough so the dam was insurable, we would still have to insure everything we own, every piece of property. Because you need one person on there with a mini bike breaking his leg, and now we've got a lawsuit. So it would be insured either way. I spoke with Erlissa and asked her whether the property in Castaic, do we have insurance on that property? Well, somebody could easily go in there and hurt themselves. I don't know if that is or not, but every piece of property we own should be covered on a policy. 'Cause
Trustee, when we went to Mayville, how many different properties did we find? We found,
well, just the reservoir is like 7 different parcels,
Right.
just the reservoir.
plus the unused park, greatly unused park.
Yeah.
Land sale, another.
Which
fun
brings us to
topic.
land sale. So I finally found an appraiser that does appraise land. She could do 3 properties and that for $3,400, and that would be DEC compliant in case there are any DEC concerns. So for $3,400, she would appraise the 2 parcels, the southern tip of the reservoir, as well as the parcel at Castaic Lake. And I know I spoke with, Dave had mentioned CMA, and I spoke to a couple realtors, and they're a little hesitant to do it because of where it is, type of land it is. And they also said if there are any DEC compliant regulations that they would rather not do that. So I guess we have to see how serious we are about selling those parcels. If we're serious about at least finding their value, is it, I don't want to spend $3,400. We find out the value is $500,000, then we say, nah, I don't really want to sell it. We have to be committed to selling it, as long as the value is some crazy low figure. If we're going to initially put the $3,400 into an appraisal fee. So this may be a discussion we need to have again after we've all given it some serious consideration. As budget talks roll around, I think it's going to be painfully obvious that revenues haven't increased along with costs, and if we can, net $400,000, $500,000 selling those 3 parcels, I think it would go a long way to easing our financial burden. Obviously, it's not going to happen before this next budget's passed, but you have to start somewhere, and I think it's time we start. I think it's time we finally take a hard look at it, make a decision instead of
So you're
giving
proposing
lip service.
that we put the appraisal into the upcoming budget? Or do you want to move forward on it? this
No,
fiscal?
you know what? If we wait until to the new budget year, it's not going to make much difference.
Yeah,
Because even if we appraise it now, we're not going to sell it before the budget year anyway. So I would,
Reasonable.
yeah. So I like that idea, including that in the budget.
Johnny,
Yeah,
probably
let's
going to
do
speak
that.
up a little bit. Probably going to speak up a little bit.
So originally, we had discussion about having a real estate CMA done. And then we were debating that, whether that was going to be accurate enough.
Right. And I think one thing you have to think about is a potential buyer. And it is the attorney or the realtor for the potential buyer going to accept the CMA. They may not. If there's any DEC non-compliance or compliant issues, that's something that the appraisal would reflect. So to me, $3,400 is insurance that they're not going to be able to say, well, Yeah, you've got the CMA that you may have paid a couple $100 for, but we really want an appraisal, and then we have to go have it.
And that would cover the base of DEC
It would,
qualifications.
So I don't think it's going to cover seeker by any means.
no, there's no
Yeah.
seeker.
That's, yeah.
There's no,
It sounds like a seeker would be the responsibility of the
Yeah.
purchaser.
Person, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to worry about it.
and I have no reason to believe that you would need a seeker for all those parcels, perhaps one of them, but I don't think you need a seeker for all three of them.
I would suggest, too, that just so everybody's aware of things, myself included, take a ride up and see the park, see what we're talking about, before you make decisions as to which direction you want to go with it. I haven't seen it myself, so it's always good to know what we're talking about. Grit pumps.
You'd have to be
is
able to
another-
find it first.
Should be a fun
That
day.
would be the challenge.
I've heard we should bring mosquito repellent.
Maybe a machine.
Grit pumps is the last subject on
We
this.
already discussed
Yeah, I think we,
that.
Discussed them?
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to ask,
I'll make a motion, we enter
this up right
executive
now?
session
We
to,
already
Well, hang on one
talked about
second.
that, too.
Pardon?
We already talked about
we
that,
talked about
too.
this one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
I'll
that?
make a motion, we enter executive session to talk about existing legal action
Yes.
against the village.
I have a second?
I'll second that.
And a motion to end this session and go into executive session.
We just need to vote on executive session.
I'm saying,
Yeah, we just need to vote on
Is there a second?
executive session. Yep.
trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Wandell?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Kruse-Keefe?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will see you next Monday in these very headquarters, beginning at 6:30, 6 o'clock, I'm sorry, correct? Yes. Next Monday, right here at Village Trustee Workshop. Have a great night. Thank you, David Friedman, for operating the cameras tonight. See you then. I tried printing out